Darmian to Michael Carrick. Carrick, the ideal kind of player really for this sort of a game, I think. You know, in the mid-afternoon, the heat and so on, a player could put his foot on it and just take time out of the game when necessary by keeping possession. But the tempo higher here. Fosu Mensah, such a good athlete. Bit more ball juggling by Marcelo. Toni Kroos gets a free kick. Kroos having had an extended summer break this year. Isco threading it forward. Benzema couldn't keep a hold of it. Bale on Pereira.
Yeah, Pereira's an interesting one as well, isn't he? He's hoping to stay at the club this season, having gone out on loan to Granada and played against Real Madrid in La Liga last season. There's a couple of United appearances to his name from the season before and scored in the League Cup as well, but he has been quoted as saying that he wants to knuckle down and try and become an integral part of this squad.
Certainly the manager is encouraging it at the moment. Darmian, Fellaini, Modric for Real Madrid, Marcelo, Kroos, Pereira sending him back, but of course he had the know-how to get out of that, the German midfield maestro. Here's Varane. Modric. Marcelo. Isco's made the run. Little seen of him so far. Now he does get forward. Gets out of the control in the box. Marcelo. 3 in there for Real Madrid. If he can hit them, he's going to try. By cool then. Did well. Fosu Mensah did the simple thing. Modric. Cross to Isco. Stopped by Carrick. Did well, Michael Carrick. Cross stopped Pereira. Lingard. Couldn't escape the very close attentions of Nacho. Marcelo. Gareth Bale. Flag went up eventually.
He scored the last time these sides met, Gareth Bale, a couple of seasons ago in this competition. United winning 3-1. Javi Hernandez getting a goal for United back then, is just joined for West Ham. Just spooning it out to Darmian, finding it a bit harder to penetrate against Real Madrid United than they did against Manchester City. It was a very impressive performance by United in Houston, Texas, but Real Madrid a bit more battle-hardened, if you like, a bit more streetwise as to that counter-attacking threat from the likes of Rashford and Martial. They're not giving them the room to exploit so far. Yeah, 10 days of training behind them in LA as well, and their last game, of course, of last season was in June against Juventus in the Champions League final. Zidane was pointing out that In Bale's case, it's the first time in a long time that he's had a pre-season with the club.
Well,
full pre-season.
I was about to say about Gareth Bale, because of his injury problems last season, he cannot have had much holiday time, and he wouldn't have wanted it. He knows he's got to get right physically. Let's see how he moves here. Well, the movement was all right, the touch wasn't so good. Bailly stopped him.
Of course, last season as well, he had Euro 2016, that run to the semi-finals with Wales. Just turned 28 a few days ago, Gareth Bale, so he's a senior player now for Real Madrid.
Bailly, Fosu Mensah. Of course, in a sense, what Manchester United did against Manchester City might have made up some minds at City about moving for a Real Madrid player, because the glaring weakness in that City lineup the other night was in the left-back position, and now they look like they're going to go and fill it with Danilo of Real Madrid. Funny how it works. First forwarded by Lingard, not seen by Darmian. Well, I think he saw it, but he couldn't effect the pass. Carvajal. Isco. Modric got it down.
Yeah, Modric, such a classy operator in that midfield. I remember watching him for Croatia in Euro 2016, and Portugal put a man on him specifically just to stop him. It certainly hindered Croatia's game, but it's a lot harder to stop Modric in the Real Madrid team, although of course, as I say that, he plays a poor pass.
Again, it's Lucas Vazquez, so keen to get back goal side. He works so very hard for the team. Zidane loves him for that reason.
Yeah, not too many starts for Vazquez, but as you say, played in more matches than anyone else.
Jones stepping out with it. I think Mourinho wants to see a bit more of that from Phil Jones. Promising little sign there.
Well, there's talk that Chris Smalling could be on his way to West Brom for 10 million. Careful what you believe in the papers these days, of course, with all the rumours about Neymar and Darmian as well. Talk of Juventus coming in for him.
Pereira, Jesse Lingard, Pereira fed by Martial, Martial again. Darmian didn't do much with it, and given away in the end by Lingard. United just seem to lose momentum then a little bit. Fellaini. Great win back by Carvajal. Kroos. Fosu Mensah, muscular again, did well. Kroos didn't like that, but he was second best in the challenge. And Fosu Mensah loved it. And he meant it. Kroos gets his own back on Pereira. Isco. Darmian has got to get out there to Carvajal. Repulsed that threat this time. Modric. Isco. Now let's see if United can inject a little bit of pace, but again the cover's so good. We weren't seeing that from Manchester City the other night, were we? Nacho just summed up the position perfectly. Just dropped off. Marcelo. Ambitious, looking for Benzema, but Romero easily getting there.
Yeah, United lacking the cutting edge we've seen from them in the past few matches. At full-back they don't have Blint or Valencia getting forward. And the guile of Mkhitaryan to pick out a pass as well. once you can't get Martial or Rashford in behind with their pace, they're not quite as threatening.
Just one other update for Manchester United fans from the training camp. Mourinho telling us that there is no good news on the injured players. Shaw and Ashley Young still working their way back slowly, and he says Marcus Rojo will do well to be back before January, which is very sad for him. Pereira. Fellaini has a little bit of room. Rashford and Martial both overran the ball.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad ball from Fellaini at all. He's obviously a player Mourinho likes as well. He's given him a new one-year contract, or triggered that clause in his deal back in January to keep him on for this season. Divides opinion, of course, but he got a goal in the Europa League semi-final against Celta Vigo, started the final as well.
There's another good win back by Fosu Mensah. Carrick. Fed Martial, but Martial couldn't keep it. Not having the impact on it he would want to have here. Anthony Martial in this high-profile meeting with Real Madrid. Be just the kind of occasion, wouldn't it, to do a few things well and wake everybody up to him again, but it's not happening so far. Out by Lucas Vazquez to Isco. Marcelo. Bailly this time, elbowing him out the way.
Yeah, clever defender by. Coming into his second season at the club, started so well before he got an injury that kept him out for a couple of months.
It's time for drinks, as the cricket commentators say, on the half hour here. Rightly, it's a feature of every game in this International Champions Cup. Searing temperatures again here. Humidity not quite the same as it is in places like Florida, that does help. But as the stadium announcer just says, it's for the safety of the players, and it's quite right.
Thank you.
If I could offer a small amendment, I think what they should perhaps think about is saying to the coaches, when you get to that 30-minute mark, that's when you can make your changes if you want to. And the same again at the next 30-minute break, you know. I only mention it because a lot of coaches in pre-season games do like to play 30-minute sections. Might be an innovation to consider for this, but it has been a huge success commercially, and that picture sums up why. Nearly full here in Santa Clara. Capacity 68,500.
And again, a success, as we talked about previously in this tournament, for the clubs on the playing side as well. You know, Mourinho talking about those younger players, can they deal with the pressure of playing Real Madrid? Well, you can't recreate an environment like this in the mountains in Austria or Switzerland at a training camp. There's a bit more of an edge about a game like this when there's so many people watching it.
Well, let's be honest, there's more people watching this than will be watching the UEFA Super Cup in Macedonia. Stadium's not big enough in Skopje.
Strange sort of game so far. No clear-cut chance. Neither goalkeeper with too much work to do. Just that one save for Navas. And the strike from outside the box.
Not a lot for Romero to do either, which is good news for United, clearly. Rashford won't catch that up. He's carrying on the breeze, isn't it? Quite a lot.
Nice story about Raphael Varane on the ball now, signed for Real Madrid from Lens in France in 2011, I think it was. There were a lot of people calling him. One of them was Zidane, who was sporting director at Real. And Varane said that he actually told him to call back because he was studying for his final exams in school. Didn't realise who was on the other end of the phone until he hung up.
There's quite a few stories actually like that in football folklore, and an unnamed Liverpool great of the 1980s very nearly chucked his chance at moving to Anfield away because he thought somebody was impersonating Bob Paisley when he called him. I can't name him. The other club involved was Ipswich Town. That will give some people a bit of a clue. Anyway, the move did go through and he went on to become a huge success. And I can't tell you what he actually said to Bob Paisley, the real Bob Paisley, when the phone call came through. Bale, Benzema. Jones pleaded his innocence and persuaded the referee stopped. Here is Varane. Isco. There's the difference again, right there, compared to the Manchester City game, really. Rashford was turning and hurting City all through that game. So too Lukaku. Not really happened in that way in this game. They're just a bit more knowing, aren't they? Nacho and Varane.
Rashford was playing wide as well.
Marcelo. Benzema making an early run for him. Maybe a bit too early, actually.
He had a bit of trouble with Kyle Walker, Rashford, in the last game, but certainly looks more comfortable on the wing. Not really a back-to-goal player, or at least up against a quality defender like Varane. He's struggling a bit.
Toni Kroos to Marcelo. Isco. Real Madrid free kick. Tempting Fosu Mensah in.
We've been talking a fair bit about United's troubles in attack in this game. Fair to say they've done quite well in defence so far themselves.
Kroos takes it. Helped clear by Darmian. Rashford. Bit of a miscue really. Modric ball seems drawn to him, like Luka Modric in those positions, like to a magnet. He always just seems to know where somebody's going to try to clear it and just gets on it and just gets the ball going backwards again toward the defending team's goal. Kroos. Carvajal running from deep.
Yeah, great touch initially from Carvajal. He came up with his fair share of assists last season.
These two goalkeepers, of course, were always going to compete for the starting spot, but another aspect to Romero getting game time, of course, the beneficiary is also Argentina, because he is the first choice goalkeeper for his country at the moment. Actually played against Brazil in June, and some Huge games coming up for Argentina as they look to consolidate in the qualifying spots for the World Cup finals. They're not in there at the moment. Foul against Modric on Pereira. Martial. Michael Carrick. Bale. Isco. Lucas Vazquez. Jones has to get back in quickly. Lucas Vazquez presented it to Carrick. Now maybe a bit of room for United to exploit. It's Anthony Martial. Skips away from Carvajal. Looking for Rashford. Headed clear by Nacho. Miss hit by Fosu Mensah. Not the best option really, was it? Going through the repertoire here. Marcelo.
Yeah, rare mistake from Michael Carrick led to a Real Madrid counter-attack, unable to take advantage.
Now Bale is onside this time, and Jones, great cover from him.
Yeah, had to get in the way there. Perfect cross otherwise for Benzema at the back post.
Winning lots of new fans out here, Real Madrid in California. Of course, that traditional Hispanic support base would be inclined to be sympathetic toward them. They've had some great Mexican players themselves over the years, of course. Marcelo offside, and that's no disrespect to Javi Hernandez of Manchester United in years gone by, but
there's Kroos in that quarterback role, and he's so good at. And the cross from Bale cut out by Jones.
Appropriately done, Mark. Yeah, here in the home of the San Francisco 49ers. Still trying to recreate their glory years, of course. I suppose you could say they were the Manchester United of the 1980s in the NFL. Lingard has a hit. Jesse Lingard. Navas at full stretch.
Excellent play once more from Lingard. New 4-year contract from him in April, and you can see why. He's so direct. And he's come closest to scoring in this game for United on 2 occasions now. Already played his part in 2 trophies as well over the past 2 seasons, scoring in on the big day in the final of both the FA Cup and the League Cup.
Fellaini. And he's gone again. Rashford just couldn't get turned.
And again Varane, French international, just sticking to him.
Pereira. Varane's head. Marcelo. Kroos. Lucas Vazquez to Isco. Modric. It's in behind Jones. Lucas Vazquez, and Phil Jones did pretty well then. Gets a big round of applause from Romero, and rightly so. Good work.
Yeah, some really important interventions from Phil Jones in this first half. What about the weight of that pass from Modric for Vazquez actually pointed where he wanted it. probably should have done a little bit better.
Just hesitated slightly, didn't he? Jones determined and decisive, and that's what Mourinho wants him to be as a centre-back. I think that gives us a clue that there'll be quite a few changes at half-time. Fellaini down to Lingard, couldn't get it. Varane. Bale. Clever little touch by Lucas Vazquez. Benzema. Lucas Vazquez again picks up a great little position on the edge of the box. Benzema. Isco. Kept going by Modric to Carvajal. Fellaini covering Modric, and Modric says goodbye, see you later. Oh, what a cross it was too, but they were all on their heels in the box.
Great bit of play from Real Madrid's, and from that man Modric. There were 8 Real Madrid players pushing Manchester United back into their own penalty area there.
Cross comes again, and again Benzema, it eludes him. Marcelo recycles it. Good pressure here from Real Madrid approaching half-time. And they get a corner. Easily dealt with by United. Steered backwards by Carvajal. Isco. Bailly in a little bit of a tangle, but he gets a free kick.
Yeah, Benzema just let him away with it there. He'd got himself into a bit of trouble.
3 stoppage minutes to play here. They can't get enough of it, can they, here? They don't want them to stop. Fellaini took it down well. Martial. He's done well, Martial. That's much more like it. Lingard scores for Manchester United in stoppage time. A goal made by a moment of real magic from Anthony Martial. It's been a long time coming, but look at the smile he has here now.
Absolutely brilliant play from the Frenchman. You mentioned it earlier, things weren't really working out. He'd had a couple of runs at defenders. He'd huffed and puffed a little bit in this first half, but that's the quality that he has. He finally bamboozled 3 Real Madrid players there, and crucially as well, he made the right decision at the end of all that to pick out Lingard when another player might have gone for goal.
And look at Lingard pointing immediately. Hey, your goal, you did all the work, I just tucked it in, and that's nice to see. Very good. But Lingard is the man who puts his name on the score sheets for Manchester United, as he's done in those cup finals. All that after something approaching a spell of pressure by Real Madrid. Carvajal. Going to be a corner off Michael Carrick.
Yeah, great to see Lingard get a goal as well. Youth Academy product. Manchester United with their history of bringing young players through. It's great to see him finally flourishing.
Taken by Toni Kroos. It's a big outswing of that. Again, the breeze perhaps a factor in it. Anyway, Marcelo won it back. Kroos has it again. Benzema. Offside. More circus tricks from Marcelo. It must have been a real nightmare when he was a kid at home, jumping on the sofa, pulling out of the lights. Goodness me, he's an old man in football terms, and he's still full of it. So half-time here in Santa Clara, and Manchester United left it very, very late in that first half, but Jesse Lingard has given them the lead. Not quite the pizzazz or showbiz quality that we saw from Barcelona in their ICC opener last night, but two more of the major club names of European football showing each other plenty of respect here. Hard work, Mourinho will like that, and he'll like the 1-0 at half-time even better. Daley Blind's going to come on, so too Chris Smalling. And David De Gea will replace Romero in goal. That is David De Gea of Manchester United, not Real Madrid. And a good chance for us to educate ourselves about those that Zidane may be looking at to fill out the squad and give an opportunity to in the months ahead. Certainly our place is up to be claimed for a 23-man Champions League squad, for example, for Real Madrid. A bit low on numbers right now. Big departures of Alvaro Morata and Danilo, James Rodriguez to Bayern Munich. So there are 3 spots for somebody to go and grab. Hakimi is the number 34. Manu is the player at centre-back, number 33. Two centre-backs. This man here is Alvaro Torrejo, and this is Manu. And up front, it will be Dani Gomez to confront Chris Smalling second half. Herrera gets involved for the first time. Who are you particularly looking at seeing here, Mark?
Yeah, well, Real Madrid have brought 8 youth players as part of a 26-man squad to the United States, and I guess I'm looking forward to seeing all of them, because the under-19s won the treble in Spain last season. Number 32, Oscar, is apparently a free kick specialist who scored 22 goals in all competitions, I should say, last season at youth level. And Real Madrid's first ever senior Moroccan international is the number 34, Hakimi.
Starting at right back here, yeah. Much more experienced Daley Blind at left back in the second half. And Lindelof steered it out to Fellaini. Darmian switching to right back here. Mkhitaryan. Forceful challenge by Herrera. Pogba. Mkhitaryan. Return by Blint. A little bit of space for Martial. Now, will that moment in the first half, creating that goal, will that lift Martial, I wonder?
I think it's significant that he's been left on. He's one of only a couple of players and has been asked to play in the second half as well, and it's no doubt because Mourinho feels that that goal will have helped him, so maybe he'll continue to play well in this game and get his confidence up.
Oscar, the Real Madrid Oscar, is on in the middle of the park. He wears number 32. think Herrera will know all about him, and he's sticking quite close to him, isn't he? Now Oscar is goal side of Herrera. Of Oscar, I should have said.
I did say a lot of goals last season for the 19-year-old. Spanish under-19 international is already looking to test De Gea. Bit of a role reversal from the first half with a second-string United team on.
Another little coming together between them. I think this is going to be one of the key duels of this second half, Herrera and Oscar. Herrera will know all about him, of course, with his connections in Spain. And it looks like Oscar is well up for the job of making life difficult for one of the senior players. I've heard good things about him myself, actually.
It's a very, very young Real Madrid side out there now against an experienced United lineup. There are spots up for grabs potentially in the Real Madrid squad, although Zinedine Zidane yesterday again saying that as long as the transfer window is open, anything can happen, and that was in relation to a question about Kylian Mbappe of Monaco. Although he's only 18 as well, so a very young player himself.
Yeah, he'd fit in here perfectly. Lindelof. Mkhitaryan. Martial made the run. A little bit of a problem perhaps for Herrera after that challenge from Oscar. Juan Mata already an injury victim on the tour. Looks in a bit of bother here.
I'd suggest they won't be taking any risks. It's the one thing most of the managers say before these games is they want to avoid injuries. In fact, Zidane said he didn't even care about what the results would be. And it's Manchester United who are losing a player, and Mourinho discussing this challenge with the referee.
Well, it was robust, to say the least of it, wasn't it, for a friendly? Not the worst we've seen in the tournament so far, incidentally, but the problem is when you lose a player because of it. Scott McTominay, who featured last weekend a couple of times, is on again here.
Yeah, McTominay can handle himself as well, so no worries there in the United midfield.
Blind.
No, right.
Touch by the young Argentine Palacio was a little bit heavy.
He's known as Franchu, apparently. Another 19-year-olds. 2 goals in the UEFA Youth League for him last season. And they do seem to be pretty excited by this under-19 team. That's why so many of them were brought on this tour as well. Treble winners, unprecedented.
Casemiro providing the customary muscle in there as well. Pogba had his shirt pulled. By Franchu.
You mentioned there's some talk in the papers about Chris Smalling being a target for West Brom. I would wonder, though, why anyone would want to leave Manchester United right now. They do seem to be a club on the up and back in the Champions League as well. It's going to be a very exciting season.
Fellaini to Lindelof. Lukaku. 11 La Liga appearances for this fellow Casilla last season.
Actually has one cap for Spain. Played a few minutes against Germany, and Toni Kroos scored the only goal of the game past him in that friendly match.
Spread by Oscar to Hakimi. Franchu gives it back to him. Round the corner by Casemiro. The number 16, more familiar perhaps, Mateo Kovacic. Now a bit of work for Darmian to do. Cross comes in anyway, and Smalling kept cool and couldn't keep it in. Fellaini did well to help out, but the ball wasn't very good. Got it back rather fortuitously. Herrera. Lindelof. Real Madrid happy to come and hunt United down. Lukaku going looking for the ball. Kovacic came away with it. Martial looking to get in behind Hakimi. Hakimi made it the ground well. Tidily done by these Real Madrid youngsters. They're making a good impression so far, and Oscar has made his mark in another fashion already. On by Kovacic. Fellaini can't get the challenge in. Powerful run by Hernandez, which set up the danger. Casemiro had a wild slash at it, not quite as effective as that Champions League goal. Look well up for the task here, don't they, this makeshift Real Madrid group?
I was just thinking that it's probably not too comfortable playing against them. One of the United players hoping for a leisurely second half, but these youngsters and fringe players for Real Madrid keen to make an impression and playing with lots of energy.
United are struggling to get the ball. That second drinks break might come as a welcome relief to Mourinho. Kovacic. By Oscar to Hakimi. Casemiro. It's another well-constructed build-up here by Real Madrid, and might have been a problem for United, and they've got it back yet again. Here goes Casemiro. McTominay trying to get that goal side, concedes a free kick.
Yeah, the United players not happy that there wasn't a free kick before that. I think it was Casemiro on Fellaini. Casemiro bursting his way through and hold to the ground. may get to see if Oscar Rodriguez is the free kick specialist that we were told he would be.
It's a very inviting position. All along the ground. McTominay keen to get on with it and get Manchester United moving forward. This free kick. Mkhitaryan, Lukaku doing his best to make himself a target. Fellaini, Pogba.
Well, after all the build-up, disappointing free kick from Oscar.
Just a bit too strong.
Dani Gomez hasn't got into it as yet. Spanish under-19 international playing up top for Real Madrid in this second half. Another man who got plenty of goals in the UEFA Youth League last season.
Won that back well, didn't he? Fellaini was caught and then embarrassed. Did well to fight back, Fellaini. It's a real struggle here at the moment for Manchester United.
Yeah, the only thing lacking with one or two of those Real youngsters is that physicality. Putting themselves about, but you can see a few of the United players, Fellaini an obvious example, who are able to shrug them off when needed.
Can they get Martial and Lukaku going up front? Martial's won a free kick.
Yeah, Franchu with the challenge that time. Actually made an appearance for the B team last season. Number 29.
Blint. Aimed at Lukaku. And it was beyond Fellaini.
Really good ball in there from Blint.
Mkhitaryan with the corner. Over the top from Fellaini. They do appear to have the height advantage at least. United. Fellaini, Smalling, Lukaku.
Yeah, without a doubt. Lukaku already 2 goals on the tour. Be interesting to see a replay to see just how close he was to that last cross. That's Hernandez, new signing for Real Madrid at left back.
30 million euros worth. Kovacic it is who's come off worst here. Mkhitaryan, all apologies. Like Lucas Vazquez, perhaps the part that Kovacic has played over the last year or so has been a little bit understated. 19 starts in La Liga. And, you know, plenty more off the bench in the title win. Only started 2 of the Champions League games, and both late in the group stages against Legia Warsaw and Sporting. But he's done okay, just needs to press on now, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely. 23 years old, Croatian international, but those league matches are important as well. Real Madrid only losing 3, despite all the distractions and other competitions they were involved in. The Club World Cup to come up again in December.
Does rather disrupt the flow of their season a little bit, but they are so used to it, of course. They know how to manage and navigate their way around the challenges that presents. It's not such a long trip this year, it's Abu Dhabi. In La Liga, they lost only the 3 games against Sevilla and Valencia away from home, and then that famous late Barcelona victory in the second Clásico at home, which reopened the title race. Hakimi looks very comfortable with the ball at his feet.
He made his debut for Morocco back in October in a friendly against Canada. As I said, that's senior level as well for a player who hasn't played for Real Madrid's first team as yet. He's still only 18.
I wonder what Atletico Madrid think about losing Hernandez to Real.
I wonder what his brother thinks of it. Still at Atletico.
Theo is the younger, he's only 19. Here's Pogba, very quiet so far, Pogba. McTominay on for Herrera, after Herrera picked up that, what looks like a side strain or a hip problem. Blint. Poor touch by Martial. Franchu did well. Hernandez. Casemiro. Oscar. Hakimi. Switches by Casemiro. Lindelof did well and helped out well by Mkhitaryan.
I'm just thinking maybe Real Madrid don't need all that many signings, considering how well some of these youngsters have taken to things in this second half. Worth remembering as well that 5 players were at the under-21s for Spain. Got to the final, lost to Germany. They're not involved today. Vallejo, Borja Mayoral, Marco Asensio, Marcos Llorente, and the new signing, Dani Ceballos as well.
Here goes Martial. Manchester United need to make a statement here that they're not going to be pushed around by these Real Madrid young players. Martial's helped them earn a corner.
Well, they almost scored from the last one.
Looks like Hernandez has taken it on himself to deal with Lukaku. Mkhitaryan couldn't get there. McTominay found a bit of room, did brilliantly. Fellaini, offside. I think it would be just like a Mourinho side, wouldn't it, if they have a little bit of a footballing lesson for a while in this half, as they have been doing, but they then go down the other end and score.
Nice little flourish from Scott McTominay there to almost set up the chance for Fellaini. McTominay, who played a couple of games towards the end of the Premier League season.
Mkhitaryan he's had enough of Hernandez already, I think.
He's been good, Hernandez, although you'd expect him to be at 30 million euros.
Lindelof had to get there, he's late. Victor Lindelof, very, very late. He knows, we all know, it's a penalty to Real Madrid.
Yeah, just back up off his feet, and Hernandez brought to ground again. Just got the timing all wrong, the Swede here. Lindelof, terrible challenge.
How well did Hernandez do? He got himself up and caused the next problem, and a big problem it turned into for the former Benfica centre-back. So David de Gea in goal. Casemiro, a scorer in the Champions League final, and a scorer here. What a good penalty that was. It's 1-1.
Yeah, no question marks there. The man wearing the captain's armband for the second half, Casemiro, the Brazilian, smashing home from the penalty spot. Had to be a good penalty, of course, to beat De Gea.
I don't think even Mourinho could say it's not unmerited since half-time. This much-changed Real Madrid unit with several teenagers in it. They've been really, really good, and Manchester United really have not quite got into it in the second half after all their changes. He must be well pleased.
Yeah, definitely, they've been busy.
Mkhitaryan. McTominay. Very, very well judged by Casilla. He made it look simple, Casilla, because his starting position was so good. The thing is, Mark, and it was said when they gave Zidane the job, he knows the club from the inside out. So he knows, and he's had the chance with his own eye to watch these young players playing in his first team right here come through over the last 2 or 3 years. He's not relying on other people's opinion.
Yeah, I think that's big. Such a big player for the club. 3-time World Player of the Year in his career. Champions League winner with Real Madrid, and he's basically filled every role at the club since retiring as well. He'll have brought a few in himself, advising the president, before serving as both assistant to Carlo Ancelotti and manager of Real Madrid Castilla, the B team.
Mkhitaryan trying to get United going a bit. 20 minutes to play here in Santa Clara. It's been a very good tour so far for Manchester United. They just need a good last 20 in this game to keep that momentum going, I think. Pogba. Lukaku couldn't keep it. Oscar. Franchu kept going, and he's bowled over. Smalling doing his best to look nonchalant.
A huge credit to Franchu here. He looked up and there was absolutely no one ahead of him. He was tight in the corner. He took on Blind, beat him, and committed Smalling as well. These youngsters really impressing in this second half.
I will say, in fairness to the United players, you know, the Real Madrid players are used to playing in this kind of heat all the time for, what, 2/3 of the year. But it's very demanding for players who are not so used to it, playing in the middle of the day.
4 matches in 8 days as well, wasn't it, for United?
Danny takes this free kick and he's trying to score. We don't have the video assistant referee here. Looked close, but De Gea wasn't caught out by it. A bit overplayed by Hakimi.
A sneaky effort there. It was from a player we haven't mentioned too much, Luis Miguel Quesada, who's representing the Dominican Republic at international level. He's a bit older, 21 years old. Scored 4 and 25 for Real Madrid's B team last season, so a bit closer to making that first team breakthrough perhaps. All of these young players, though, seem to have a spark about them. They're willing to try things.
Definitely, yeah. Fantastic turnout here in Southern California. And it's in a contest again.
Really no let-up for Real Madrid. 3 games against Barcelona to come in this competition, and then in the two-legged Spanish Super Cup. Lots to look forward to in the next few weeks for Spanish football fans.
Lindelof to Smalling. Looks like Antonio Valencia's going to come on here. Lukaku's headed down. Martial. Handball.
Water, Kevin?
I think Valencia is probably required at this stage just to bring some more experience to this United team and some assurance down that right side, because Hernandez has done very well for Real.
Time for drinks again.
Today's attendance announcement is brought to you by Vivid Seats, the official ticket reseller of the 2017 International Champions Cup. For the most affordable selection of premium tickets to all your favorite live events, go to vividseats.com or sit closer.
A few of the highlights from earlier with Martial. Give a man the captain's armband and it does go to his head. Look at him, full of it. Modric very good first half. But the United goal provided by Anthony Martial. He turned and twisted Danny Carvajal inside out. Tap in for Jesse Lingard. Manchester United in front at the break. Then all the changes. And the so-called second string for Real Madrid have dominated since. Casemiro from the spot. After Victor Lindelof committed a fairly ordinary foul. I thought the Hollywood days were behind Real Madrid. Somebody tells me that's Julia Roberts. I've not seen her in the rain at Old Trafford.
Just looking back at that Manchester United goal, Martial's skill reminiscent there of Neymar from last night.
Well, now that is a compliment. He'll be very pleased you said that. Anybody who missed it, find it, watch it. It was unforgettable. In fact, the whole period of the game by Barcelona was. So Valencia for Darmian. Sent off earlier on the tour, Valencia.
Darmian, good player to have in your squad. You can play at right back or left back, and he has said that those rumours about a move to Juventus are just rumours. He's happy at Old Trafford. Did come back into the United team towards the end of the season and had a good game in the Europa League final against Ajax.
Mkhitaryan and McTominay working together to win it back. Valencia to Lindelof. Bit gung-ho, to be honest, at times, I thought, when watching him in Benfica, in the Champions League particularly, and he's going to have to cut that out. Lindelof might be a timely reminder of that today.
He's an aggressive defender, and he knew straight away he'd made a mistake. I'm sure Mourinho will have words as well.
See, it'd be a great help to him to have Mourinho, and I happen to know that Mourinho still studies the Portuguese league week in, week out, and I've watched him an awful lot. And I think what he'll say to him is, look, in Portugal you don't have that many strikers who are super quick, who are going to look to run in behind you all the time. In England you do. Most of the top clubs have got one or two, and you have to give yourself a little bit more space and not dive in. Lay off by Lukaku. McTominay used it quickly. Paul Pogba.
And 2 bits of very good play there from Tejero.
Fellaini. Mkhitaryan. It's a good block by Hernandez.
The number 27 for Real Madrid, Alvaro Tejero. Got to grips with Lukaku and then shut down Pogba. Did make a couple of appearances, the 21-year-old, for Real last season in the Cup. He played 90 minutes and 2 minutes in the league back in April.
They lost to Celta Vigo, didn't they, in the quarter-final? That's where the treble dream died. Smalling. Daley Blind. Trying to get Lukaku into it, but they're not really able to do that a lot, United. Advantage played by the referee. They wanted a foul against Blind originally, Real Madrid.
Yeah, Mourinho up off the bench. He's not happy with the referee even thinking about awarding a free kick there.
Looking a bit more frustrated generally, Mourinho, and it's easy to see why. But he knew this would be a test, whoever is playing in those white jerseys. Casemiro. Kovacic. Pogba did well. Martial caught in possession. Casemiro driving on. Paul Pogba has really had very little impact on this, I'm afraid, for United. Gives it away again. Hakimi did well. As you said a while ago, Dani Gomez, Mark, not quite having the impact he would want. Can Lukaku going the other way? Not like that. Casilla gets there easily. Valencia.
Yeah, Gomez just half a beat off the pace. The man who almost set him up there, Hakimi, certainly isn't.
It's a great challenge again, wasn't it? Round of applause from Zidane. Martial, that was a nice little sleight of foot trick, but Blind can't keep it for United. A little bit overplayed then by Real Madrid's younger players. Tejero again came across well, but McTominay has it for United. Looking for Fellaini.
Classic Fellaini, really, isn't it? Capable of some brilliant stuff, capable of that.
Well onside, skying it.
Great cross from McTominay, completely unmarked, had so much time, could have taken it down.
Scott McTominay has been effective since he's come on here, hasn't he? He's been direct, assertive, and you know, they've not carved out much in the attacking sense in this second half.
That's Fellaini too, can get a bit grumpy. He was the most expensive outgoing transfer from the Belgian Pro League back in 2008, and he was still the record transfer until this summer. Yuri Tielemans joining Monaco.
Franchu. Hakimi. Still Real Madrid are using the ball very, very well. Cut out in the end by Valencia. Mkhitaryan forced back. Going to be a card here. It was a foul on Mkhitaryan. Oscar, who saw Herrera off, doesn't mind mixing it. McTominay to Daley Blind. Surely Zidane will really want to see this group of Real Madrid youngsters see it through now and get a positive result on the board. It'll mean a penalty shootout if it's a draw, incidentally. But United, in the first half, showed a lot of cutting edge late on. They've had one great chance provided by McTominay here a moment ago, and they're looking like they could carve out something here again. Valencia given away by Mkhitaryan. Kept fighting for it well, Mkhitaryan. McTominay again, right under the sole of the boot of Valencia, and Lindelof gives away another free kick. Confirmation it was Oscar's yellow card.
Clear pull back here. Maybe a trip as well. As he mentioned, McTominay's been really impressive for Manchester United. Positive in everything he's doing and tidy as well.
Just keeps it simple. Plays what he sees. Short to Pogba. Hakimi. Smalling stood his ground.
He's really stood out for me as well, Achraf Hakimi. 18 years old. Nice first touch, ran into a defender but recovered well.
Lindelof, he had to recover well, but he didn't really clear his lines, and Blind had to poke it away to safety. Little inquest with Pogba afterwards.
I think this is pretty good for Manchester United. They needed a little test. Things were going a little too well on this tour.
Certainly been a test. Pogba got a firm head to that. Mkhitaryan is shrugged off it. Put out of harm's way by Martial, but they keep coming here, Real Madrid. Nicely worked. Hakimi comes again.
I finally see why he's playing at right back. Lovely play from Gomez to lay it off. It did open up for Hakimi, but a poor finish in the end.
Only 18 years of age. Kovacic. ran well with it. Hakimi again.
Great balance from Kovacic to get away from Fellaini there. Gomez getting into it now as well.
De Gea not called upon to make a save, but he's having to rally the players in front of him. I just wonder whether the conditions have been slightly against United here, playing at this time of the day. Not easy.
Yeah, I'd say they're relieved they don't have to play extra time as well.
I think that would be too much, yeah. Straight to penalties. Lukaku. Kovacic again. Hakimi taking on Daley Blind. Well, the run was much better than the cross, fortunately for United. Heading into stoppage time, there are going to be 3 minutes.
Blind is really struggling with Hakimi. That's the second time he's just dropped the shoulder to get past him.
Going to be the David De Gea show here in a few minutes if we don't get a goal. He and Casilla will be centre stage. Casemiro's already scored from the spot. Martial. They may as well send everybody up there, United, Smalling and co, in the attempt to win it. Hoisted in there by Blind. On by Lukaku, but misdirected. And Manchester United misfiring here.
And certainly some of the substitutes that have come on for United have made little impact so far. Pogba and Lukaku among them.
United support has been out-shouted here in the Levi Stadium, but you might be able to hear the United cries now. One last effort required. That was quite easy, wasn't it? Can Real Madrid make further headway here? They might do. One disappointment from their point of view might be that Dani Gomez has really not looked a threat. There's another inquest involving Pogba here.
Yeah, he's had a couple of good touches in the last few minutes, Gomez. As you said, far too easy for Casemiro to thread a pass through to Oscar. And once they got in to the United area, Gomez he should have picked a pass or had a shot on target. He did neither.
Little help on by Fellaini and again by Lukaku. Now Pogba, now or never for Pogba. And Hakimi, what a turn and go back that was by the young right back. No wonder they were happy to see Danilo go. We didn't know about Hakimi until this tour, but Real Madrid did. And all of the Real Madrid youngsters have certainly played their part here second half. It is going to be a penalty shootout and a much changed selection for Real Madrid. Have been hugely impressive here in the second half. Manchester United, who have been